dimensions of the world. Right now, there is a painting the devil is trying to paint and say, you just enjoy yourself and live your life the way you want to live it. Even as a Christian, you don't need to bother too much. Don't take it to the extreme. Don't take it over the top. Just make it easy. It doesn't matter. You know, I tell you, it matters. It matters. There's a day whereby the door of love, of grace, will be closed on this earth. And the Bible says, we will all appear before the judgment throne of God to give an account of what we have done with our life, whether good or bad. That is the God I'm talking about. How do you know? Do you have the fear of God? Do you have the fear of God in you? Or do you fear man more than you fear God? And God made me to understand that the extent of the fear people have is the space you have refused to occupy with the fear of God. I'll say it again. The extent of the fear, say for example, you only have 40% fear. Even though that 40% fear is enough to nullify your faith. How many of us know that poison, you don't need to take too much poison to kill. Just a little bit of percentage of poison is enough to kill. So also, let's say 0.1% of fear can nullify the faith that we have. That's why God says, look, my children, I have not given you fear. All I'm asking for is, honor me, saith the Lord. Reverence me, and you will not have any cause to fear the things the people of the world fear. So the extent of the fear of the world, panic, terror that you have on the inside of you is the extent of the space left open where the fear of God is not yet in charge. But the day you close up the gap, maybe it could be a fear of what people will say. It could be a fear of friends, or fear of partner, husband, your fiancé, your fiancée, your neighbor, your colleague at work. What will they say? As opposed to what God says. Because what God says to proceed. Said it before, when I was going to get married, I told my wife, I said, look, and God knows I love you. I love you with all my heart. But I am declaring to you that God is my number one. And what He says overrides. I love God more than you. And she was excited. She said, I thank God because that's exactly what I have been praying to God for. So, we have a place where we both meet, somewhere up there with the Lord. So, whenever it's time to manifest, so when God asked me to leave Reading and come here, He said, look, Michael, go. That's what God is saying. Just go. Just know I'm with you. He said, go. When God asked me to go to India, He said, go. When God asked me to go to Nigeria, I said, anyway, because He owns you. I don't own you. He owns you. So you better go now quickly. In fact, sometimes you really want to go and book my ticket. And I said, what are you waiting for? If not, I'll kick it out of here. Get out quickly. That is what it means to have the fear of God. Many of us are crippled today because we have not learned to snatch ourselves from families, from friends. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we should not honor our families. No, we will honor them. But first honor goes to Him. First respect goes to God. Whatever He says stands. Yes, you might be called names, which many of us are afraid of. My dad called me different names. In fact, he went to the extent, he said, look, you will never get married because you are going to be a poor boy. Who will marry you? Because all my friends were getting jobs. They were working in Shell, BP, in Chevron. Because I did some aspect of stratigraphy that can enable me to work in an oil company. So some of my
to a child who is bringing shame and dishonor to my name in his family. Oh. I said, Baba, I don't even have bicycle. So, and I'm excited. Don't you know that this your son is so blessed? Hallelujah. And he said, look, who will marry a boy like you? No bicycle, nothing. He was just after what? The material things. That was his problem. He wouldn't mind if I told him I was well. I've just gotten a ministerial job as a pastor and I've been given 40,000 pounds per annum with a car, with a house. Yes, go for it, boy. But his understanding of being a pastor is that you're going to be the most poor in life. Wretched life you will live and that's it. You're not going to be able to marry. And I said, if he's the one that has called me, he will look after me. When it was 2 years to my wedding, my dad called me. He said, how much do you have in the account? I said, in my physical account, I've not even opened a bank account. And he said, there you go. He said, please don't bring disgrace to this family. The moment you see a girl, don't bring that to my house. Because I don't want a boy. I said, I will bring that to your house. Because I am your son. And when I met Selena, so I took her to my dad and I said, as he told me about himself. You know, he was just like he has not even met her before. He said, as he told you, he's a pastor. Don't let him deceive you that he's doing a work. He said, he doesn't have, ask him how much he has in his account. And Selena said, look, Dad, don't worry, come and look after me. We will not be put to shame. And you know what? On the day of my wedding, I said before, I'm talking about the fear of God. I'm going to round up now. I want to challenge you. On the day of my wedding, my dad wept. My uncles wept. The family wept because he has smeared my name. That I had nothing. But you know what? On that day, we had a brand new car. I didn't have any bank account. We had a brand new 3-bedroom house. The key given to our hands. The gift we received for 2 years, we couldn't finish opening them. I had to spread it across to other missionaries. I said, please, I don't want to be greedy. It's too much. I can't finish it. My dad wept. Families gave their life to Christ. What am I saying? Dare to stand out for God. Don't let the fear of man cripple you. You are limiting the glory of God in your life by the fear of man you have as against the fear of God. Who rules the day in your life? Is it the fear of man or the fear of God? The extent of the fear of God you have in you is the extent of the glory of God that will be made manifest in your life. Because that's what guards you. You live your life knowing that it is not you, but it is God on the inside of you. Christ in you, the hope of glory. The extent of the glory that will make manifest in your life is the extent of the fear you have for God. I tell you, brethren, to the glory of God, I don't have any fear, but for God. What I'm saying now, if Canada will ask me, I will say it exactly before me. Principalities and powers, when they gather, they know it. They know it. In the realm of the spirit, they know it. I will say it anywhere. And sometimes they say, you better leave that boy alone.
I'm telling you, that's what they say. I've had it not once, not twice in the kingdom of darkness. They say, look, just leave that boy alone. Leave him alone. Don't go there. Don't just leave him alone. He's already a nutter. So don't go to him. So when the devil is sending out his emissaries, you know, he knows, like I was saying on Friday, the devil has some addresses. He said, don't go to that place. If you go, whatever you see is your own problem. But I am not asking you to go there. But you can go to, on that street. You see, wherever the fear of the Lord is found. Because what will make Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to wanting to go in the fire? What do you think about that? It's the fear of God. It's no longer I that liveth, but Christ that liveth in me. It is no longer Michael that liveth, but Christ that liveth in me. Those guys, I tell you, those because they mock the fire of the king. When the fear of God is in you, you can mock the fire of this world. Knowing that on the inside of you there is a fire that consumes every other fire. There is a fire that cannot be messed about with. The fire of holiness, of righteousness, that brings about, that accomplishes purpose in life. The true fire of God from heaven. So when they said to them, we will consume you. And they said, okay, fine. And they said, come on, it's time to come home. We just honor you. Thank you for the time you have given us here and now. But king, let us tell you, we will not bow down to your fire, to your God. Because as for us, we know there is only one God. And his name is Jehovah. There is no other God beside him. The reward of the fear of God is that we go to heaven. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice and trembling. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the people in the world revere him. Come, my children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Teach me your way, O Lord, and I will make your truth. Give me an undivided heart, and I will fear your name. Now, all has been planned. There's conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. Until we understand who God is and develop a reverential fear of him, we cannot have true wisdom. True wisdom comes only from understanding who God is, and that is holy, just, and righteous. Deuteronomy 10, 12 to 21, 20 to 21 records that, and now Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oath in his name. He is your praise. He is your God who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes. The fear of God is the basis for our walking in his ways. Serving him and yes, loving him. Do not fear what they fear, last one, and do not dread it. The Lord Almighty is the one you are to regard as holy. He is the one you are to fear. Is the one who are to dread. Shall we please rise?